Park is divided into between 3 wards, 5, 6, and 7. You mentioned the natural boundary, which is the river. Last time you all ignored the river and decided to come down 19th Street, put one half of the street in 7 and the other side of the street in 6. Do you propose to unify the lower part of Kingman Park, which is below Benny Road, into one, or are you proposed to split, or considering splitting Kingman Park again down the middle of one street?
Well, if the shift in the boundary is in the area of Kingman Park, probably what would happen is that the Ward 7 portion west of the river would grow, would it be enlarged. And so if you're asking about whether the neighborhood would continue to be split, if that's where the change is in the boundary, then that neighborhood will be more whole, but it will be within Ward 7. I said at a previous meeting, and I think this got out on the listservs, that I think that I acknowledge that when Ward 7 came across the river to Kingman Park, that is not exactly compact, which is another one of the principles of redistricting, and that it underserved the residents of Kingman Park because they're almost an afterthought to the rest of the ward. But that was done because of the population, and I think it's about close to 2,000 people, and if that had not been done, then Ward 7, 1,774. Correct, and we're working on the budget where we round up, so it's close to 2,000. And if you consider the fact that Ward 7 today is below the 5%, if I remember correctly, by about 300 or 400, then it would be below the 5% today by 2,000 if we had not made this change here. So while it did not give Kingman Park strength, since they were partially in Ward 7, the only part west of the river, it did equalize the numbers. And, you know, I was thinking about this because I was at a meeting the other day where somebody said, you know, this is just about the numbers and not about people. And that's really a terrible thing to say, and the fact is that it's true. Redistricting is about numbers. It's about one man, one vote. It's about political equality in numbers. So I don't know if that answers your question. I hope it does.
It doesn't, but you all want to do what you want to do anyway.
Oh. Well, we don't. Yes, the committee will end up having a proposal. That's true. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Lon Keys, and I'm a Ward 7 resident and a very angry one. Am I correct in understanding that your definition of population for purposes of redistricting refers to number of humans across the board, no matter what type?
It's the census.
Okay, the census population. Where do demographics come in really in practice? Because for years and years and years, it appears that it seems that the wards have been, it just seems that way, have been designed around income, because I noticed that wards with the high income bracket are very attractive. Wards with low income brackets have nothing. Now consider east of the Anacostia River. They talk about high unemployment, high crime, high everything wrong. And yet, there doesn't seem to be an arrangement, demographics-wise, to get the perpetrators out and bring in resources for jobs, education. We can't continue handing over our resumes with this zone that's east of the Anacostia River, as happens with my resumes, and ends up in somebody's cat box. So where do demographics really come into this? It looks like it's all about money and politics. I think we need God in the equation here.
Well, the question about demographics, the one way that demographics does come into redistricting, not so much in the district, but in terms of the case law, is with regard to race. Our redistricting plan in 2001 was challenged. Kingman Park took it to court, and I believe that they argued that it was It was racially discriminatory. The courts tossed that out. We have to be mindful of it, but we have to be mindful of it. But other than that, the other demographics, whether it's income, what do I want to say, the wealth of a neighborhood, wealthiness of a neighborhood, that's just not a factor in the redistricting.
Please go outside.
And the way to address that is through other public policies, such as job creation, doing a better job with economic development. These are not a function of war. These are a function of what else the government is or is not doing.